Hey there, Saints. Pastor Dave here with another weekly devotion for you this Wednesday. I hope you're doing well today. I'm going to start off with a quick meditation from David Kuntz's Quiet Mind. This one is about books. I cannot live without books. Thomas Jefferson. That's a statement of a person with a passion. It's easy to understand not being able to live without food or water or even companionship, but books? Yes, books. Oh, Jefferson would no doubt have continued to live without them. He probably wouldn't really have died. But neither would he have been as fully alive as he wanted to be. Of the many gifts of the world that can lead us to contemplation, to creative reverie, to quiet moments of being in the present, perhaps books are the most powerful. Or am I just revealing my own biased attraction to Jefferson's words? My father used to love to say to someone who had just given him a book as a gift, "Oh, that's too bad. I already have a book," as if it were a duplicate of a necktie. His humor got at a deeper truth, though. You really can't have too many books. They hold the world for our perusal. I have a list of special books. Currently, it contains 5 titles. I call it my life-changing book list. Each of these volumes has undeniably changed the way I live. The first title on the list is Stuart Little by E.B. White. In truth, the list could contain all the books I've ever read, for they have all changed my life in some way. What are some significant books in your life? Imagine yourself with one of them, seated in your favorite chair, the book held loosely on your lap, staring into space in contemplation of something the writer has just suggested to you, and which you are now following in your own reverie. Saints, I was so amused when I picked up the devotional and read that quote from Thomas Jefferson, because I've heard that one before. It is on a bookmark that my daughter has that I guess she picked up at Poplar Forest or maybe when we visited Monticello. We actually, when we went there, saw Jefferson's library. He's got a whole room full of books in that Monticello house. And you have to think when, in the early 1800s when he lived, books were a lot harder to come by. So he really did value them to keep a whole room full of them. I think they told us that at one point there was a fire that destroyed most of his library, and he spent the rest of his time at the house trying to recover or restore that library. He really appreciated the power of books. And I have as well throughout my life. I loved reading when I was a kid. I had a period through school, kind of in high school and college, where I guess I got burnt out on it. I had too much assigned to me that I did not choose to read. I didn't want to read. And it took a while after that for me to get back into the habit of reading just for pleasure, just choosing things that I personally wanted to read. There's a difference, right? There's a difference between the sort of reading that we feel that we have to do, the reading that is assigned maybe in a class or something to do with our job, or even just the reading of keeping up with the world, reading the news, knowing what's going on, and that sort of reading that we do by choice. That sort of reading that we do because the activity of reading is something that we want to be engaged in. Shonda and I have worked really hard to help Charlotte have a love of reading and a love of books. We spent a lot of time reading to her when she was little. I still enjoy reading with her. We read chapter books together at bedtime pretty much every night. And she is, of course, doing much more reading on her own at this point. But we certainly believe that reading is it's a key that opens the door to so many avenues in the world. That you can experience so much through books. I've heard some really interesting neuroscience research saying basically that the act of reading ink and paper physical books has an impact on our brain development that really humans need. It helps the neural pathways form so that we are able to retain information and actually process and develop our own thoughts along with it in a way that doesn't happen as readily when we read on a screen, which admittedly is something that I do a whole lot. I think many of us do. So, Saints, have you taken time lately to read a book. Not because you had to, but because you chose to. What did you get out of that experience? And if you haven't done that lately, I'm going to encourage you to try to find some time with a good book. It can be something that you've read before, as something that you are reading for the first time. I've always been amazed by my changing responses to some of the things that I've read in the past and then read again, 10, 20, 30 years later. But I think that whatever you might choose to read, there is a great value in just the experience of sitting down with a good book. That's your devotion this week, Saints. Hope it's something helpful for you and worth thinking about. I hope you are doing well today, staying healthy. I'll be praying for you. Please keep praying for me, and I will see y'all again soon. Take care, Saints.